Beautiful downtown San Diego, not far from the campus of San Diego State University, where the Aztecs enjoyed an impressive first half, shooting 50% from the floor, and they own a 14-point advantage as we get ready for the second half. Leading scorers, well, the inside game of Pope, the outside game of McEwen so far, leading the charge.
And Utah State's going to have to get their outside game going even more so here in the second half. I mean, this is a team that's capable of knocking down 10, 12 threes in any given game. Very much perimeter oriented. If they can get off some of those shots, this is going to be a great second half.
And Pope, a guy that averages 13 per game, but he had 21 and 9 at Wyoming. That was a losing effort. But really tried to take over the game with 10 field goals, a career high. It shows what he means to this team. I mean, he's a legitimate threat everywhere on the floor.
And you know, a lot of that's because they've been sharing the basketball so well, moving that ball around. They're getting him open opportunities, but you know, everybody is a threat on the floor if you're moving the basketball around and they're in position to score. It's important for San Diego State. They don't have any laps of play to start the second half. They had that at Wyoming. Expect to see them zone a little bit. And I think the biggest concern for them is the penetration by Utah State. We've seen Isby get to the basket, McEwen and some others. They've got to keep those players in front. And, you know, Utah State is a team that can really shoot the basketball, but they get a lot of their shots off by driving the ball first.
Let's talk about that. Coach Duryea mentioned to us they'd like to get 25 to 30 three-point shot attempts per game. Only 10 three-point attempts in that first half. You got to think that they're going to let it fly a little bit here, especially down double digits.
But they probably had 5 or 6 in the first, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really coming out firing. They started missing shots, and they started turning the basketball over. They were a little bit more geared to driving the basketball instead of shooting the basketball.
Well, we know it's the great equalizer, that three-point shot. They can get back into the game quickly if they can string some together here. Aggies with the basketball to start the second half. McEwen, little floater in the lane, rims out of there. Had a good look at it.
Well, it looked like the Aggies were in a 1-3-1, and Utah State took it right in the gap.
Watson dribbling baseline. Looking for McDaniels, slips that screen out to Mitchell. And travels. A turnover for the Aztecs here, and that is just their 5th of the game.
You see a lot of players travel, but they do a good job of getting in the paint. Once they get in there, they move their pivot foot, and there's a freshman doing it there. And it's something that you have to learn. A lot of high school kids don't have that proper footwork. Wide open three.
Good look for Merrill, and that's the offense they want. He is a 37% shooter out there. He's hit 30 of those this season.
How long is Coach Dutcher going to stay in that zone? Utah State got off 2 good shots in these first 2 possessions.
Mitchell over to Watson, a scoring point guard. Got it on that wing, looking inside for Pope. Mitchell gets it to him. Picked up by Taylor, makes a spin move to the left and misses. That shot just hit the bottom part of the backboard. Dwayne Brown the other way. Merrill and McEwen, they're the 1-2 punch, that backcourt for the Aggies. Looking for more production out of those two. Here's Brito, good feed to Taylor. Can't convert, contested there by Pope. Watson on the take, not there. Brito has it. Brito baseline drive. McEwen from the corner. Just missed that one as it rimmed out, and Pope tracks it down and then one-hands it on the outlet.
Great look at it too. Those are the shots you want. Baseline drives, baseline corner passes.
Trey Kell, 7 first half points. Cross-court Mitchell, here's Pope on the block. Draws the double, inside, and the bucket for McDaniels.
That's not the first time in this game that they've gone to double Pope and he's dished it down to McDaniels.
Daniels with 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field. And he's looking for a quick start before the first meaty timeout here. Merrill. McEwen cross court. Merrill thought about it, then he's bumped and fouled. Good hesitation there, and the freshman Mitchell picks up the personal.
He doesn't understand what he did wrong. And I think the official is saying, hey, you violated his vertical cylinder. Something they've really emphasized, freedom of moving off the ball and with the basketball. Let's see, Merrill right there, yeah. It looks like it wasn't his whole body, but Mitchell's foot was inside that vertical cylinder when contact was made. That's a foul call.
He's like a Sam linebacker with that body out there, 230. He bumps you, you're going to feel it.
Kind of reminds me of Jordan Caroline of Nevada.
About the same build. Here's Merrill straightaway three, and he knocks down another one. Merrill starting to heat up a little bit at the end of that first half, and he's found his stroke. They're down 10.
Yeah, 3 3-pointers now. See, now this is more of a comfortable pace for Utah State. San Diego State is not playing at the speed and intensity level they were in the first.
Mitchell with the left hand. Matt Mitchell, known as a three-point threat, showing some athleticism there. Here's Diego Brito. He's been playing for the Portuguese national team. Back out to Merrill, who has 11 to lead the Aggies now. Step back jumper on the money.
You know, Sam Merrill looks like Hayden Dalton of Wyoming on Wednesday. Second half just came out firing away.
Merrill's had some big games. He had 18 in their last game against San Jose State to go with 9 assists. Kell gets the high screen for McDaniels and puts it on the floor. Floater short. Rebound Merrill. Chance to get the single digits for Utah State. Merrill cross-court feed McEwen. Brito, baseline drive. Tries to feed it to the trailer Dargington. They turn it over, and on the other end it's McDaniels, and he's fouled.
That is an unforced turnover. We've talked about it. The pass was not necessary. You make that pass, and you turn it away, now you have 2 free throws on the other end. And even more so, if the foul wasn't made and McDaniels slammed that home, what's that do for the momentum? This crowd is huge. These are great fans. You slam one home like that, now you have all the momentum, so you have to be careful. You can't cause unforced turnovers.
14 turnovers now in the game as McDaniels knocked down the free throw. Good-looking redshirt freshman, and he is a rebounder. 9 or more in his last 4 games. He has 3 boards tonight to go with 9 points. In and out on that one. Dargington the rebound. 4 minutes into the second half. Utah State a chance to get it down to single digits again. Nice screen set by Dargington. McEwen rolls off of it, misses the shot, had a good look. Jeremy Hemsley on the floor now. Here's Pope. Cross court. Watson attacking and finishing.
You know, Pope gets the credit for that layup. I'm sorry, Watson, but Malik Pope's pass created that shot. The reversal from outside or inside the paint to outside the 3, that established everything.
Watson has 10 now. Brito back out for Dargington. Near the 15-minute mark. On the drive, Dargington blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Aggies. Contact, no foul call. 15:07 to go. Merrill starting to heat up. The sophomore from Bountiful, Utah, has 13 to lead the Aggies.
He's hit a pair of 3s already in the second half and a mid-range shot. He's getting this team going. Utah State needs to get more of these 3-pointers in this second half.
A 13-point Aztec lead over the Utah State Aggies. Tim Duryea in the huddle, trying to cheer on his bunch. They really rely on their backcourt play, and McEwen and Merrill specifically. And Sam Merrill starting to heat up, and that's a good sign.
It's what they have to have. Good perimeter play, good shooting. But I think more so, they've got to do a better job in the defensive end. Yeah, they're not scoring points, but it seems like San Diego State's having their way in the offensive end.
Merrill and McEwen have combined for 22 of their 37 points so far. Inside, Brown is blocked by McDaniels. Boy, is he athletic. Watson on the other end. Hemsley feeds Montana. Try to go back to Hemsley, and Merrill got a hand on that one and a turnover. Brown's going to drive it. Had it deflected, stayed with it, and put it in all in one motion.
Let's see if Utah State changes up their defenses. Yeah, see, after this made shot, it appears they're in zone defense right now, but they left a good shooter open. You have to get on them. Even if you're in a zone, you have to put pressure on that shot.
He has found his stroke, and it's a guy that has really struggled after a hyperextended knee against Arizona State. He's back now, Max Montana. He has 10 points and a foul called on San Diego State here. It's Montana picking it up.
We talked about Max Montana. He's had 3 knee surgeries throughout his career. And instead of going for a 4th, he elected to try to let that knee heal after hyperextending it. Missed 6 games and played, I think, 4 minutes in that other game.
The Aggies almost turn it over there as Dargington finally tracks it down. Drives against Cameron Rooks in the paint and takes steps and turns it over. 15th turnover for the Aggies.
Well, Cameron Rooks, big number 45, the Cal transfer, he's 7'1", and he's not real quick with the feet, but his presence alone and wingspan can intimidate players, and I think that's what forced that or caused that unforced turnover.
Has 70 career blocks at that position. Here's Hemsley looking inside, and an Aztecs turnover. They've had some troubles taking care of the ball here in the second half. McEwen.
So look at the defense by San Diego State. It's been an emphasis. Don't let them drive. Try to keep them in front. 4 shots.
Boy, Merrill's feeling it right now with 16. He's at 4 out of 6 triples.
But they would rather force that shot contested than allow them to get inside the 3.
This is a team that shoots it at 36%, and they shoot it at a high volume. Thinking about the 3 there, Watson. Here's Hemsley on the wing, picked up by Brito. Baseline drive, reverses up and in. What a play.
Wow. The hang time, the reverse.
31 starts at the point a year ago. Here's Brown on the drive with the left hand. He has a couple field goals here in the second half.
One thing Coach Duryea was very excited about was this team competes. And he feels like they're a better defensive team than they have been the last couple of years. He feels like this team wants to play defense.
Well, Watson almost picked up that pivot foot there. They go inside to Rooks, left alone, and he's fouled by Brown. Somebody missed an assignment there. Rooks had a free path to the basket there momentarily.
If you just look at these 2 rosters side by side, you see it right here. There's not much of a presence in the post. I mean, Rooks gets the basketball. Would much rather see him just take that up strong and try to pump it back. But, you know, you wonder if the reason why San Diego State is getting so many points inside is just a lack of a tall post player. A physical post player. I mean, those 2 post players that they have are very good and injured in that play.
Janicek Stahl.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's the 4th on Brown, so that's of concern right now for Coach Duryea. Henson and Isby come in. Brown and Brito will check out.
Just feel like Utah State is very long and they have a lot of length on the perimeter, but inside the post, they don't have a ton of height. And they certainly don't have a lot of bulk. I mean, look at Rooks. He is a big, strong man. But they don't have guys with that kind of size. They have length, but they don't have bulk.
And they really rely on that perimeter shot, and they're very capable out there. Only down 11 as we near the 12-minute mark. 3 on the way from McEwen. Back iron with that one. Kell the rebound. Trey Kell spots Rooks. Rolling to the bucket. Blocked. Follows it up. Followed up the Dargington block and puts it home. And there's that size taking advantage down low again.
Here comes the pressure. How much different would this game be if Utah State could just make 2 or 3 more of these shots?
Merrill, Isby, cutting to the lane, not there. Tip won't go, but he's fouled. He has been so active, so energetic, and it's been a pretty good game for Isby. But the Aggies still down 13. 11:43 to go. San Diego State trying to get one in the win column for the first time in this Mountain West Conference season. Have led by as many as 14 in the first half, up 13 here during the midway point second half at Viejas Arena. 3 freshmen have made significant contributions this season for Brian Dutcher's bunch.
Now the future is bright for San Diego State. These 3 players are all capable of being all-conference players at some point in their career. I really like what Matt Mitchell has done thus far in this season. Jalen McDaniels has been playing really well as well. Jordan Shackle's a guy that can knock down 3-point shots. When you have 3 players here that can lead this program 4 years from now, or throughout the next 3.5 years, rather.
And Mitchell right there and Shackle right now on the floor. McDaniel's getting a breather, but he's been very active so far with 9 points and 4 rebounds as Isby converts on the free throw. D'Angelo Isby, 9 points, 3 rebounds, in 16 minutes of work. Gets them both.
Utah State just keeps chipping away. Keep reloading that barrel, come out firing. And at some point, they're going to catch fire and have a really good defensive segment and make a run.
Down 14 at halftime. Here's Hemsley. Drops it for Rooks on the block against Dargington. Hemsley from the right wing. 3 is good. He is only 7 for 29 this season from beyond the arc. Pick the pocket of Isby right there, but Isby goes to the floor to get it. Hemsley the other way.
Look at that
Montana.
Pass.
And knocked out of bounds.
I love unselfish basketball. And too many players are just prone to just dribbling the ball up the floor, but look up the floor. Look for your teammates. That was a beautiful bounce pass to Montana.
Well, he's got the eyes of a point guard, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Great vision. Mitchell, fade away, tough shot. And a foul called on Henson here, who has an astonished look on his face, picking up his second. That's number 3, actually. 3 now on Henson. And Brown's going to come back in with 4 personals.
You know, Dwayne Brown has 4 fouls. Just subbed him into the game.
And he'll have to be careful here as we near the midway point in the second half. Shackle. Montana pulls the string from 3, not there. Dargington the rebound. McEwen, step back 3, got it.
Oh, yeah. They don't go away. This team fights, they compete.
Kobe McEwen shoots it at 39% out there. He now has a dozen points. Hemsley attacking.
That's not good defense. That was way too easy for Hemsley. No insurance policy. Nobody there to help out the man who got beat off the dribble.
Hemsley now with 9. You see the points in the paint. Big advantage for San Diego State, almost more than 2-1 now.
That's going to be a point of emphasis in practice. They're going to watch this film. Oh, no. Another one?
Merrill off the back iron. McEwen trying to get it. Montana has it. Trying to go coast to coast. Finger roll is in there. And maybe this is the coming out party for Max Montana. And what a boost it would be off the bench for this program.
He is feeling better. He was one of the players that finished the game against Gonzaga here in this building, and they won by 2 points before Christmas.
He has 12. The crowd alive here at Viejas Arena. Brown for 3. Air ball. Dargington. And the Aztecs have the basketball, a 15-point lead. Montana on the other end. And he's fouled by Merrill.
I like what I see in Max Montana attacking the basket. This is a player that shoots nearly all three-point shots. You talked about how he hyperextended his knee versus Arizona State, missed a lot of games. He's come back physical. Every game he gets a little bit more confident, gets his legs out from underneath him, and he's playing more physical than I've ever seen him play.
He was Max Hotzel last year, Max Montana this year. His family loves the state of Montana. That is now his last name.
How about that?
Hey, it is a beautiful state. Maybe not this time of year.
You're Trey Montana. I'm Richie Montana. All my siblings are Montanas.
Well, he is having a big game. 13 points, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. A rebound and assist. And knocks down that free throw.
In the beginning of the season, people were like, who is this Montana guy?
Biggest lead now for the Aztecs. It's at 17. Julian Perry on the floor. Dribble handoff, Isby. Double teamed. Dargington thought about it. Now he'll drive against Rooks. Blocked by Rooks. Out of bounds. It's going to the Aztecs. They've just had great energy all night long.
They have. They have. They lost the game they felt they should have won. At Wyoming, they had a missed opportunity. And I guarantee you in the locker room, coaches are telling them, look, you remember Wyoming? You have to come out strong here in the second half. You have to play smart.
Montana short with that one. Rooks the offensive rebound. Misses at point-blank range. And they badly need a shot to go here, the Aggies. They have any hopes here as we near the 8-minute mark. McEwen for three. Not there. Montana the rebound.
When you're a team that almost lives and dies by the three-pointer, I mean, and they shoot a very good percentage as a team.
Oh, that's a big-time block right there. Dargington sending Montana's shot attempt into the seats.
This is nice right here. Look at that help side defense by Dargington. But I was trying to say, Utah State, I mean, this is a team that's shot very well. I'm impressed, with their offense. I mean, they're 45% from the field as a team, 36% from three on the season. Those are good numbers, and they're very three-point heavy. But when the shots aren't going down, a lot of that's because the length and the defensive intensity by San Diego State, it's very difficult to win a basketball game. Hard to score points.
Shackle missing on the three. Tip by McDaniels not there. Look at loose ball again to the Aztecs. Shackle can't convert. Follow is good by Shackle.
Just trying to pad his stats, get an offensive rebound.
The freshman from Torrance, California, and they have their biggest lead now at 19. Crew Ainge now on the floor for the Aggies. Now the 16 turnovers have been costly. A lot of those in the first half, and that really put them in a hole, and they've been playing uphill since that point. Julian Perry, we have an offensive foul called here on Perry, and a timeout. 7:31 to go. It's been all San Diego State in their Mountain West home opener. Tim Duryea looking for some answers here in Southern California. Brian Dutcher's Aztecs in control. Their biggest lead at 19 with 7:31 to go. First season, long-time assistant, 19th overall at San Diego State under Steve Fisher. Starting to put a stamp on this program.
Well, I think the middle name for Brian Dutcher is patience. He's talking about working under Steve Fisher here at San Diego State for 18 years. Look at all the success they had here. NIT appearances, NCAA appearances. You talk about Brian Dutcher, 18 years here at San Diego State, but a combined 27, maybe almost 28 years actually, because he came in mid-season, I believe. Total, when you look at Michigan, won the national championship with him in 1989. He was the lead recruiter for the Fab Five.
Coach in waiting for the last 5 years, a guy that if anybody can carry on the tradition from Steve Fisher, it's his right-hand man. And a few tweaks here and there, a little bit more up-tempo, and they've shown some really good offense to go with that great defense they've always had here at San Diego State. Here's Pope. Off balance, and the follow. The offensive rebounding has been excellent second half for the Aztecs.
Well, Brian Dutcher was joking in the preseason about how Coach Fisher did him a favor leaving after the team finished in 6th place last year instead of after the back-to-back championships. He's like, can you imagine if I finished in 6th place in my first year?
There's Isby with a bucket with the left hand. Shackle, good look at a three. Short. And a foul call here on Utah State. You know, a guy that when you're with a coach for that long and you're itching for the right, a lot of these guys want to be head coaches, but this seems like the right way to get it done. Coach in waiting, carrying on the tradition of the program. There are some programs that don't have that luxury where they've got to go search, but Steve Fisher knew all along he'd be his guy, and there's Coach Fisher watching this one.
Well, we all know the story about Steve Fisher and his son Mark, who was on his staff as an assistant coach and is still to this day assistant to the head coach with battling ALS and still on staff with Brian Dutcher. And they have a real special bond, father-son, and he picks him up every day, 8 o'clock in the morning, takes him to practice, takes him to the office. Still to this day, even with Steve Fisher on the sideline, in the stands rather, instead of on the sideline, he is still picking up his son every morning, taking him to the office, letting him work with the coaching staff, and he takes him to the games. It's just a special bond, and I wish more fathers had that kind of relationship with their sons. Still
involved with this university in a capacity fundraising capacity and involved in so many ways. There's a miss from distance, and McDaniels another rebound, and he now has 5 for the game. Hemsley, and he throws it away. 6:09 to go, and a comfortable 19-point advantage here for San Diego State. Everybody talks about the Aztecs' great defense. They've been one of the top defensive teams in the Fisher tenure. You get the sense that they want to not be known just for their defense. They have some offensive talent that's pretty impressive here.
So this is a program that's been on the map for quite a long time. And San Diego State, I mean, 9 of the last 10 years, they've had a win against a top 25 team. In 6 of those years, they had at least 2, including this season.
Crew Ainge with a floater, short, rolls off the front of the rim. There's his dad, Danny, president of basketball operations with the Celtics. He's got some of the same fire as Danny had when he played.
Even the same haircut.
He does.
But yes, he plays with that competitive level, intensity level. Look at these deflections. I love seeing defenders deflect the basketball.
Kell from the corner, in and out of there. McDaniels trying to corral that rebound, couldn't hang on.
Well, they say in practice, Crew Ainge is always going up against Kobe McEwen in practice. And those are 2 players that are very confident, very fiery, very competitive. And both those 2 players get better practice in and practice out because they're guarding each other.
Maryland McEwen coming back on for the Aggies, trailing 70-51. Just over 5 minutes to go here from Viejas Arena. Steve Fisher enjoying the view from the sidelines. Not as a coach, but as a supporter of the San Diego State program. His Aztecs with Brian Dutcher at the helm leading Utah State 70-51. The Aztecs learned today they're going to be without Monte Gil Caesar for the rest of the year. Health issues. He's academically eligible to finish up his academic requirements, but no longer with the program. And they're a deep team. They've got 10 deep, but they won't have the 6'6" junior from Ontario, Canada, playing any more basketball for them.
That's a weapon that they won't have, but like you said, they still have depth. They play 10 players at least 10 minutes a game. A lot of depth in this San Diego State team. And sometimes, even though you don't want to lose a player, sometimes it helps you with your rotation because you can zone in more on other players and have something more stable throughout the course of the season.
And we've seen the emergence of Max Montana, small sample size, 1 game, but he plays like this or close to it consistently. That gives him a little bit more punch off the bench than they've had late. Approaching the 5-minute mark here. 44% shooting now for the Aggies. And there's a bucket in the interior. Merrill's had a big game. He has 18.
It's great, too, because he struggled for most of the first half. A little bit of a coming out party for him in the second half. He is their leading scorer, but certainly they needed that. And, 17-point game. It's still not out of the realm of possibility, but they need to get hot.
Good ball rotation. Jump hook won't go from Kell on the baseline that time. Merrill. Outside. Henson misses on the 3, and Pope rips down the rebound. That's his 7th of the game. The Aztecs team that came in smarting after a loss at Wyoming. You mentioned Hayden Dalton just had a monster game, and they just couldn't slow him down in the second half.
Calling him the Slim Mamba after that game. That's what they're saying around Wyoming, the Slim Mamba, getting it done. Fearless, taking it to the basket, hitting 3-point shots, taking the Mountain West by storm.
You mentioned the youth, the 3 freshmen. McDaniels is one of those guys for San Diego State. But they have some veteran leadership as well, and that has been a big story here tonight. Pope, the senior, Kell, the senior, amongst the guys leading the charge. 4 minutes to go, 70-53. Aztecs cruising on the home floor. Aztecs with a big lead. Tremendous success here in San Diego for the Aztecs since 1999. 13 postseasons, 8 NCAAs, 10 Mountain West titles. Of course, Sweet 16 appearance in 2011 with Steve Fisher at the helm and Brian Dutcher picking up where Fisher left off. How about scores around the conference? Nevada really had to battle to hold off the Lobos.
Nevada hasn't been playing at the level they were earlier in the season. They had that loss against, I believe it was San Francisco, and now they're edging New Mexico. I think they're just going through a little bit of a lull right now, but they'll be all right. Colorado State, Fresno State, those were two teams expected to win. I like this matchup, though. Boise State and UNLV. And Boise State is a team that can win this conference.
Chandler Hutchison is a tremendous player, player of the year candidate.
Absolutely, and then you have right there UNLV, Brandon McCoy. They're good players. They're strong point guard play. I mean, they have some really good youth and talent.
Speaking of youth, McDaniel's really coming into his own. 10 points, 6 boards in this game. His last outing, 6 points and 10 boards. He's a double-double waiting to happen in the future for this program.
Mr. Brandon Ingram lookalike. Same haircut, same build, similar game.
It's a pass ahead to McEwen, who loses the handle. That's been the story.
Yeah.
They're going to keep the basketball here, but they've really had a tough time taking care of it. 17 turnovers in the game.
I mean, a lot of those unforced. And you've talked about that, but they've got to clean that up. And Utah State's going to have to find a way to score points when that three-pointer is not dropping.
McEwen, step back three, tough shot, and knocks it down over Kell. That is shows the ability of number one.
A guy that can really fill it up. We're talking about UNLV. In last season as a freshman, he dropped 28 on him one game. He can score. ESPN top 100 player out of high school.
He has 15 in this one. Approaching 3 minutes to go. Here's Watson, the junior. Back out to Pope. Misses on the three. He can shoot it. That shouldn't be his number one option.
Well, I don't think his hands and feet were ready. You always need to have your hands and feet ready as a shooter. You can't sit there straight-legged with your hands on your side. He caught it, then he got into shooting position.
Frustration from McEwen on that last time down. Here's Mitchell from the wing. Back iron on the three. Long rebound to Merrill. Under 3 minutes to go. They almost turn it over. It's Taylor. They do turn it over. Backcourt violation. Turnover number 18. This is very uncharacteristic. A team that averages just over 12 per game.
12 something you can live with as a team. 10, 12 turnovers a game. You have a very good chance to win. When you start getting closer to 20, I mean, you are just giving away the basketball and taking away possessions you can score on.
Sloppy on both ends now with this game in San Diego State's control. Brown, offensive foul.
Player control. That's his fifth.
So that will do it for the junior from Conyers, Georgia. It's been a frustrating game for him. 4 points in 18 minutes.
Well, you see it right here. He gets into the paint, but you see how he just extended that elbow a little bit? Again, vertical cylinder. McDaniels had the right to that space. You can't violate it.
Brown has given him some good minutes this year. Their top rebounder, but not his A game as you see the turnover numbers.
Almost double for Utah State. I mean, think about it. That's 20 to 30 potential points.
20 points off of those turnovers for the Aztecs. Shot clock at 10 for Kell. Poked free. Watson with 3 on the clock. Fires a long three. Buries it.
Wow.
Devin Watson showing his range.
We knew he could score the basketball. I didn't know he had beyond. That's an NBA three.
Yeah, that's Curry range. He has 13 now. Here's Isby with the left hand. McEwen off the mark with that one. McDaniels another rebound, his 7th of the game. Well, the Aggies will go home for their next game, and an always tough place to play, the Spectrum in Logan. Look at Fresno State next. San Diego State goes on the road to Fort Collins to take on Larry Eustachy in Colorado State.
I mean, their schedule does not look easy. You're playing up against Rodney Terry's Fresno team, Marvin Mancey's UNLV. You talk about Eustachy's Colorado State, and then Nevada and Boise State.
It's a tough
top
league.
contenders. Yeah, it's brutal. It is not getting any easier. I mean, every team you face is really talented and really good.
Yeah, and it still remains to be seen how good Wyoming is after the win over San Diego State, but A lot of teams very capable in this conference. Should be a fun race. Nevada looks like the favorite. They're off to a good start at 2-0.
Well, you know, just a few years ago, this was a multi-bid league. The last couple seasons, just one bid. But I mean, this is a team capable of 3 to 5 bids, year in and year out. It's an excellent conference, great competition, phenomenal coaches in this league.
Look at those numbers for the redshirt freshman McDaniels. Michael Sohikish, a junior from San Diego, on the floor now. Also doubles as a basketball manager as well as playing some hoops here. 1 minute to go in this one.
At this point in time, the Aggies, I want to keep executing, but don't get anybody hurt. Put this one away and focus on the next one.
Yeah, it's been a really tough start from an injury standpoint for Coach Duryea, especially with his front court players. Doesn't have Clay Stahl or Norbert Janisek due to injuries. There's a 3-ball. Isby has played well. He gave him a lot of energy in that first half. And he has 15 as we play out the final seconds here at Viejas Arena. Big victory for the Aztecs, smarting from a loss on the road, and they came out with great energy and took control of this one, and they didn't let up much.
They're going to have to think next game themselves and go back on the road at Colorado State in their next game. But they can make a run here in the early going and potentially catch up to Nevada or take control of the conference race. They have that potential here at San Diego State.
Watson with a bucket. He finishes with 15. A 20-point victory for San Diego State. Brian Dutcher gets his first win as a head coach in Mountain West Conference play. 79-59. Watson with 15. Montana 14. 13 for Pope and McDaniels. Really a great effort across the board.
San Diego State, come March, they're going to be dangerous. This is a team that can win this conference, win the conference tournament. They will be primed and ready. And under Coach Brian Dutcher, they will improve game in and game out.
Both teams now 1-1 in the Mountain West Conference. Thanks to Richie Schuler. I'm Trey Bender saying so long from San Diego. 79-59, Aztecs win it. All games airing on the ESPN Network, streaming live on the ESPN app, or to watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, a big night for the Aztecs. Good night from San Diego.